Okay, hello, my dear patrons. As usual, this will be uploaded to Patreon before it's uploaded to YouTube, just to say thank you very much to my patrons, but it will also be uploaded to YouTube to say thank you very much to all my subscribers and viewers. This is another sort of tutorial right here. What you see right here in front of me is Canva, and you could see a few of the thumbnails that I have created for my resources, for YouTube, for example. So what we're going to do today, I thought it would be useful if I show you the document that I send to my students before each and every trial lesson. So once they book a trial lesson with me, this is what I send to them. All right. Today I decided to update it and to make it look a little bit prettier. So what I'm going to do is first show you what I send them and the contents so that hopefully this could help you. I will also provide a template for all of you on Patreon so that you could create your own kind of intro trial lesson document easily. Yeah, I'll provide a template for it. That's all there is to say. Aside from that, I'm going to show you the changes that I've made to mine to make it a little bit prettier. So this is the original right here, and the updated version is this one right here. All right. So I'm going to be explaining the changes that I've made, why I made them, and I'm also going to walk you through Canva a little bit because I use Canva like it's my best friend. I love Canva. I am not a very artsy person. I'm not very I'm not very artistic. There's something to say for creativity, but definitely not very artistic. Naturally, Canva has been my best friend and it has helped me out so much. It's a free resource, unless if you want to pay for premium, which honestly at this point I probably will. But anyway, this is not a plug for Canva. All I'm saying is that it's been very useful to me. So in case if you want to use it, that portion could be useful to you. So in a nutshell, this is kind of a fusion between a little Canva tutorial for a specific function of Canva, and also a tutorial about making a intro or a trial lesson document for your students, for your new italki students. And hopefully this is something that will just kind of give them the wow factor, because again, no teacher on italki has ever sent one of these to me. So if you use one of my templates, well, the template that I'm going to give you, then hopefully that will be easy enough for you to quickly draft it up and just give your students that whoa kind of factor. All right. So with that being said, let's begin. So the first thing that we want to do right here is look at what I had in the first place. So this is a document that I made for my students. I first made this document maybe 7 or 8 months ago, so in the summer of 2021. And I would basically send my students a welcome message. Hello, my name is Ryan. Looking forward to seeing you in class. Thank you for booking a lesson. If you have any questions, let me know. See you soon, right? And then I would send them this PDF as a message, right? So right here, it has a picture of me so they could kind of like see who I am a little bit more. Thank you for booking a lesson. And it explains the protocol, the process of our first class, like what we're going to be going through step by step. Activities to test your abilities. There should be an apostrophe, but that's okay. A mini lesson and a conversation, right? And then I just tell them, relax. Like I give them a few kind of tips to remember. See you in class. Short but sweet, right? So one thing that I wanted to do is to add a little cover, a little bit of color to it. So I created this right here. And while we're speaking right here, I'm just going to test the students' abilities. I'm going to change that right there. So this is what it looks like right now. You could see I've changed a little bit of the formatting. So let's get started with the first cover. So first of all, why do I have covers on all of my documents? Well, I find that it's just a nice way to introduce a document instead of just jumping right into the text. And it's also it's filled with color. It could put the students at ease so they're not like overwhelmed by the text right away, right? It gives them something to look at before they look at what I really need to show them. Okay. Um, so what we're going to do is start off by going to Canva. If you want to make one of these covers right here that I have, here's what you would do. You would go right here, and again, there probably are easier ways to do this. I typically go to poster. Okay. I I scroll over to background and I click a background, so whichever color I may want. And then I go to elements, and I click the boxes, the squares. Okay. And and voila, we are doing good, right? So you could use whichever colors you really want to. It's completely up to you. For me, I like to use the Itaki pinkish red, like salmon color, but it's completely up to you if you prefer teal. I also like this shade of like bluish, like turquoise kind of stuff going on, right? So then what you could do is just go over to uploads. You could find a picture of yourself, whichever that may be. Yeah. Or maybe I'll stop being such a narcissist. Let's imagine that you look a little bit more like this instead of like me. Um, okay, so let's say your name is Anna, and then you'd go to text. You'd click on one of these fonts. This is kind of my go-to right here, and you could just put um, welcome to my class. Oops. And if you want, you could center this. You could play around with it and see what it's like. You could put a class with Anna, for example. I didn't do this for mine, but that's something that you could do if you want to center it. And boom, looks good, right? So then what we could do is download this. One important thing, do not download it as a PDF. Download it as one of these, like a JPEG or a PNG file. And the reason why is because if you download it as a PDF, I don't know how to insert that onto Google Docs. I don't know if you can. So if you download it as a PDF, then what will happen is you will come over here and you will try to insert it and it just won't show up, right? Because it's a PDF and it's not a PNG or a JPEG file. So I really suggest that you download it as an image, basically, right? Okay, cool. So what we'll need to do now is go back over to the intro class document. So this is what the document looked like at the beginning. Okay, let me just find it. Intro. Let's go to intro. That's odd. I can't actually find it right now. Not sure. Yeah. Okay, great. Sweet. Awesome. So right here, this is another thing about Google Docs that I'm going a little bit deeper in with, because the last time I spoke about Google Docs, I kind of gave you a brief overview of how you could use it with a student. This time I'm giving you more information about how you could use this for the formatting purposes and actually creating documents the way I do, right? So one thing you could do right here, one of the problems is that the settings for this page, like the margins, are different than what you want them to be. Because if you look at my new and improved, what I consider new and improved document, and again, you don't need this, right? It's a little bit extra, but I am extra. So what you could do is, change the margins right here, the parameters. So basically what you would do, you would click insert, and break, page break. So that shifts everything over to the next page. Okay. So again, that was insert, break, page break. And that just shifts everything to the next page. Okay. Um, Great stuff. So then, if you just want this portion of the document to be different, what you would do, first of all, I get rid of the header. Um, and then I go to File, I go to Page Setup, and I change it to 0. For some reason, it won't let me do selected content, so I'll show you how to do that before, or after, sorry. So we're going to change everything to 0. So this whole, like the whole document is set to 0. So that kind of screwed this up, but I'm going to fix that after. All right. So we can go to image. All right. And we could add this new one. Welcome to my class, class with Anna. It looks beautiful. See? Awesome. Great. So, okay, so now what do we do about this one? Well, what we could do is just basically hover over all that. And I know some of the tech nerds out there are going to say there's an easier way to do all this, and I would not fight you on that, but that's okay. For little peasants like me, this works quite fine. Okay. All right, so let me just keep that. Great. So sometimes, you have to mess around with it a little bit, right? Okay, beautiful. Awesome. So there we go. And we have everything basically that we need right here. But one other thing you notice I changed the size of the words. I bolded some information as well. I actually added some information. If your, oh my gosh, if your first lesson happens to be an IELTS general English lesson, then we will begin with the plan above before moving on to IELTS or general English portion of the lesson C in class, right? Awesome. Great. So right here, a few of the things that I did, this all depends on you as a teacher, by the way. Like none of this is set in stone. Some of the things I changed, I ended up centering this. I have a picture of myself right here. That's completely optional. If you're a narcissist like I am, I underlined this information right here, etc. Right? So this is basically what my new document looks like right here. Take a nice good look at it. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to kind of prescribe much more for you to do because this is, it's up to you what you want to do. It completely depends on what your style is. So what I suggest is that you look at the template I've provided you and just play around with it a little bit, all right, and see what works for you. I hope that helps. Basically, what I'm going to do in these tutorials is kind of like chip away at new kind of digital tools and how to use them and how to feel more comfortable using them. Sending your students something like this. Oh, and by the way, what you would want to do after this is to save it as a PDF. So go to File, Download, and PDF, right? And yeah, if you send this to your student, you will feel like really confident going into class, and your students will probably feel comfortable and taken care of as well. So hopefully it's a win-win for you and your students. All right, great. Well, that is it for this tutorial right here. I hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, keep smiling.